Hey everybody, Josh here. So in front of me, I have the Beats Studio Buds Plus in the transparent colorway and the Nothing Ear 2s. Both of these are active noise canceling earbuds that sit in a similar price category. However, despite the similarities that may appear on the surface, the companies behind these two earbuds couldn't be any more different. On the one hand, we have Apple, the tech icon that pioneered the original true wireless earbud. And then we have Nothing. No, that's literally the name of the company. A startup founded in 2020 who took the internet by storm with their first iteration of these buds. Which one's gonna come out on top? The results may surprise you. Now, the first difference you'll notice with these two buds are the materials. Beats have gone with a matte opaque plastic, while Nothing has gone for a glossy and transparent look. Because of the way that Nothing designed these buds with all transparent elements, they needed to make sure that dust doesn't get in the buds during production of the buds, but also after production of the buds.
Every speck of dust is going to be visible. So our manufacturing process is crazy. We have like a central humidifier, and this is all to make the dust settle.
Which explains why these buds are IP54 rated and these are IPX4 rated. Now that second number, which is the same on both buds, a 4, indicates protection against water splashes. You know, the occasional sweat that may get on your buds as you go to the gym. However, that first number is what's more intriguing. That first number indicates protection against solids, and the Nothing buds have a rating of 5 with max score being 6, which means that it is protected against dust. On the Nothing Ear 2s, we get a stem with a force sensor, so you're able to squeeze to activate the multimedia controls. You can squeeze once to play or pause, twice to skip song, 3 times to go back, and press and hold for your noise controls. Then in the app, you can also customize nearly all of the shortcuts and even add a double tap and hold shortcut, which I've set to change volume. On the Beats, the controls are less desirable with a physical button that you need to press into your ears to activate. Not only does this create more pressure by pushing the buds further into your ears, it also creates a rumbling sound, which isn't pleasant. Also, the Beats Studio Buds Plus don't have an ear sensor, meaning that it won't auto-play pause when you take the buds out of your ears. And frankly, at this price point, that is quite unacceptable. As far as fit and comfort goes, there's no special wingtips or ear hooks or anything like that. The shape of these buds are actually quite similar, and I actually had no problem with either bud. Keeping them in my ear for hours and hours on end was no problem. On both cases, you'll find USB-C for charging. However, you'll only get wireless charging on the Nothing Ear 2's case. Also, as you can see, these cases are designed very differently. The Nothing Ear 2's case has an unusual square shape, which is surprisingly just as pocketable as the smaller Beats case. There's also this little divot that lets you rest your finger in to use as a fidget toy. However, since this case is designed so symmetrically, I found myself trying to open the case from the wrong side half the time. And for a company whose mission is to craft intuitive products without getting in the way, this needs some improvement. Now onto the Beats Studio Buds Plus case. I actually like what they've done here with the transparent look. You can see into the battery, the hinge on the back, and even this black piece of tape to prevent the LED from reflecting. Now in terms of active noise canceling, this is where the many years of money and research and time that Apple has put into their buds comes into play. While the active noise canceling in the Studio Buds Plus aren't as good as, let's say, the AirPods Pro 2nd Gen, they're definitely better than the Nothing Ear 2s. After testing it against the deep rumbling of an airplane, the human chatter in a cafe, and high-pitched rain noises, the Beats came out on top in every scenario. That's not to say that the Nothing Ear 2s have bad ANC, it's just that they have a little bit of catching up to do, and for a startup, that's totally understandable. Now, something I was pretty surprised with is these buds have pretty similar sounding transparency modes. I would have thought that with the Beats, since they're backed by Apple, they would have had better transparency mode, but turns out that's not the case. They're definitely not as good as AirPods, so they struggle a little bit when it comes to reproducing natural sounding human voices. Now, what about sound quality? Can the Nothing Ear 2s hold its own against the Beats Studio Buds Plus? And honestly, this is probably one of the most surprising categories, because the first thing I noticed was that the Nothing Ear 2s had such a better soundstage and just better imaging, which meant that the songs had more dimension and just felt alive. Whereas with the Beats, the songs just fell a little flat and were a little boring to listen to. The dynamics and immersion on the Nothing Ear 2s are far superior than the Beats, and you just feel like the music is right next to you, and it's clear and it's truly impressive. Now, the Beats don't sound bad per se, it's just that when I was listening to these back to back, the Nothing buds just sounded a whole lot better. Okay, so you're listening to the Beats Studio Buds Plus, which boast 3 times larger microphones compared to the original Beats Studio Buds. And now this is the Nothing Ear 2s in a quiet studio environment. I gotta say, despite the 3 times larger microphones, I'm not super impressed by the performance of the Beats. For me, the Nothing Ear 2s sound a bit clearer and less processed. And if we turn on some background noise, you'll hear that the Beats have some pretty impressive noise canceling abilities, taking out my voice from the background. The Nothing Buds, on the other hand, also perform pretty well with some background noise, and I'd argue it sounds a little bit better than the Beats. Okay, let's talk about software and additional features. On both buds, we'll find features like Find My Earbuds, which play a loud beeping sound if you're within connection distance. The Beats Studio Buds Plus are also trying to appeal to Android users this year, so it supports stuff like one-touch pairing, audio switching, and the Find My app on both iOS and Android. With the Nothing Ear 2s, you also get a bunch of features in the app. Of course, you get EQ with a bunch of presets and the ability to make your own. And also one of my favorite features, dual connection. With the Nothing Buds, it is a true dual connection. So once I pause the music on my iPhone and start doing something on my computer, it's gonna pick up the audio source from my MacBook. With the Beats Studio Buds Plus, you do have to click connect on the MacBook, which sort of defeats the whole purpose of seamless switching. On the Nothing app, there's also a couple of personalized features like personalized ANC and personal sound profile. Now, personal sound profile I thought was pretty interesting because it basically conducted like an auditory test. Now this is basically testing like how sensitive your ears are at each frequency, basically like accounting for your hearing loss. And when I got my results back, it showed that I wasn't as sensitive in the higher frequencies, which is to be expected. So based on the test results, it basically just boosted the high frequency volume, but it ended up just sounded really shrill and not pleasant at all, so I ended up turning that off. And then personalized ANC also didn't work that well, so I guess there's some room for improvement for Nothing there. Okay, so which bud would I recommend? Obviously, the winner is the Nothing Ear 2s. The Nothing Ear 2s just do a lot of things right and tick a lot of boxes for me, and they also have an insanely good price to performance ratio. Not only are they cheaper, they also have wireless charging, dual connectivity, better multimedia controls, and most importantly, better sound quality. These buds are definitely an easy recommendation from me, and I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. The Beats at this price point are definitely a little bit underwhelming, and I think Apple could have included some more competitive features. However, I gotta say, it does look really cool. If you're interested in purchasing, I'll have links to the latest pricing down below. Also, if you're new, definitely get subbed up for more tech content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.